Hi everyone. By now, if you watched all of these videos in order, you've made it through 4 videos. I am doing a series on the 6 basic needs, and I decided to break it down instead of trying to cram it all into one. I had originally said on my last video for variety that I would do 2 more videos, but you know what? Growth and contribution are pretty easy to kind of connect to, so I'm just going to put the two together. So again, if this is your first time watching, 6 basic needs are the need for significance, the need for security, the need for love and connection, variety, growth, and contribution. In this video, we're going to focus on growth and contribution. So as humans, we have 6 basic needs, and we are always trying to get these needs met. So the way growth work is, it's just human nature to desire to grow. It's just that plain and simple. Many of us want to grow in some spiritual way. It's very interesting. I have this idea that God puts a hole in our heart. Like we're born with a God-shaped hole in our heart. And we spend our life trying to fill the hole. Some of us learn early that the hole can only be fulfilled with God. Others of us, we find other things to try to fill the hole. Drugs, men, women, food. We're just, because there's something in us that feels like there's something missing. And some of us come into that kind of knowing or seeking early in life, and some of us find it later in life. And it's okay. I mean, we're all on our own journey. But because I think God put that hole there, I believe He's the only one who can truly fill that need in us. So the growth happens, and you will meet people who don't believe in God, but they'll say, "Oh, there was some need. I felt the need to get more spiritually connected, or that there's something higher than me, and I needed this level of peace." That is the need for growth. The need to be more than what you are, to grow bigger some kind of way. So it's like, where does this need in you, like how is it showing up in your behaviors, right? So I've always been hungry for spiritual things, even when I was younger. I used to kind of trip my mom out because one week I'm coming home with a book about Buddhism, Hinduism, voodoo, everything. I just was always interested in spiritual things, and I think there was just something in me from the time I was very young who knew, or believed at least, that there was something greater than me. And I believe that there was a force or something more to obtain than what was right here on earth. I got that need met personally through Christianity. That is my spiritual growth, and I'm always hungry. My husband teased me sometimes. He says, "You're so addicted to wisdom," and I kind of agree. But I figure it's not a bad addiction. Um, but that's just kind of my need for growth. I want to know more. I want to learn more. I want to take what I've learned and apply it to my life to help me be a better person. And most of us are like that. I think sometimes people get stuck. So when your need for growth is not getting met, oftentimes you get what you hear people say: "I feel stuck. I feel stuck. I feel like there's more. I feel like there's more I should be doing. I have a strong desire to be more. Uh, what is my purpose?" You hear that kind of talk, and to me, that is the need for growth coming up, but people not knowing that that is the need I'm trying to fill. That is that thing that's in my heart or in my spirit that's trying to be fed, and I don't know how to feed it. So if your need for growth is happening, get connected to it. For me, like I said, I'm a Christian, so love reading the Word, love listening to the Word. But I just like listening to any type of spiritual growth. I love hearing people's story of how they may have, struggle or with identity crisis, or maybe at one point in life had an addiction or felt really lost, and something happened. It's not for me to decide people's path. I don't I'm okay. Like, as a Christian, it's okay with me that you pick a different route, and I'm not here to help you decide what that is unless you ask for my help. But I'm not here to put any specific path on you. I just know that there is something innate in us that draws us to a higher source. And I believe that source to be God. And my connection to the source was through Jesus. So that is how I get my spiritual need met. So I would just suggest that you get quiet, get centered, and find out what is it that you're trying to grow into, and what may be hindering your growth, and what does it look like when you're frustrated because you feel like you're not growing. And if you feel stuck, how can you get unstuck? I believe the best way to get unstuck is to get centered with your higher being. And again, like, that is for you to decide. It's not for me to decide. As I said earlier, I'm just going to condense this one. So the last one, the last need that we're always trying to get met, is the need for contribution. As humans, again, I believe God designed us to have the desire to give back. So if you ever hear people's stories, if some ministries start out of people's worst pain. I actually used to work for a ministry called Church Initiative. And Church Initiative at the time, they had two ministries. One was for grief and the other one was for divorce. And the man who started Church Initiative, Steve Grissom, who's an awesome guy, he had went through a horrible time in his life where he had gone through a divorce. And for him, this was pretty devastating. And he reached out to churches, he reached out to organizations to help him through this. And he said they did their best, but like, he realized there was something missing. There could be something more. So once he got his healing from the pain of divorce, there was like a strong urge in him to help other people. He wanted to contribute. So oftentimes, once we are healed from a thing, from a tragedy, for me, I'll share with you guys, my husband and I, we experienced like the hardest time in our marriage. The truth was, prior to our what I call desert experience, and it actually happened in the desert, we were kind of just coasting through life in marriage. We weren't happy. We weren't sad. I think we was just numbed out. We was in the zombie state, as I call it. But then when we hit rock bottom and God decided, well, no, because God is always dealing with us. When we decided to surrender to God dealing with us and to become aware of how much pain we was actually both in individually, we both sought counseling individually. And we thought we was going to do marriage counseling, but we never had to, because once I got healed and whole from all of my baggage and all of my stuff, he got healed and whole from his. We was just really good to each other, and we appreciated each other so much. And we kept thinking, like, do we need to go get counseling? Do we need someone to kind of give us the stamp of approval that, yes, you guys are on the right track? And we prayed, and we just kind of came to the assumption that we didn't. So now I have this need to really pour into marriages, the need for contribution. And I feel like I can do that better because I've healed through a lot of pain. Historically, I've always wanted to give back. Like, I wanted to work with teenage girls at one point. I wanted to work with single women at one point. I wanted to work with married women. But God was tugging my heart for marriage. But before he could put me in that place where I can help others, he had to show me how broken my marriage actually was. And then I was a willing participant in my healing. I believe that we have to participate in our healing. And I went through the process, that scripture that says, yea, though I walk through the shadows of death. Sisters, I tell you, it's a walk. We don't lay down in the shadows. We don't sit down. We have to walk through. And the good news about that scripture is it says, yea, though I walk through. Through means there's another side. So for me, the pain showed up to teach me my purpose. And my purpose is now to help people heal through very painful, tragic times in their lives. And it's also to help marriages heal. Like, I just have such a heart for marriage, and it really does break my heart to hear people struggling with divorce, because I know that the main reason for divorce, like, people have put tags on it. We couldn't get along. I fell out of love with him. It just wasn't working. But I believe with everything in me, the main reason for divorce is oftentimes there is something that's not at peace within the individual. And then once you're willing to find your peace and you go before God and you let God heal that thing in you, you have a better chance at healing your marriage. As long as we look outside and think that the problem is just our spouse and I'm fine, we're going to keep struggling in the marriage, because I believe marriage is God's playground. I think I told you guys that before. And I believe God uses our marriage to heal our old wounds. That has been my story, and that is the story that's connected to a lot of people that I speak with who are married, who have been married for a lot of years. It is not that we've been happy the whole time, it's that we hung in there. And I've learned that the greatest pain I suffered, my husband or my spouse came into my life and brought that pain up, but also was the healing to the pain. Like God is the healing, but He'll use your spouse's love, your spouse's forgiveness. The thing when we become more Jesus-like, being willing to sacrifice. That was our story. That was my husband and our story. I mean, he had a lot of baggage to come into the marriage. I bought my baggage. Like, here's my suitcase, here's my trunk. And when we decided to do the work, we was just so blown away how that we was kind of designed, our life stories was designed and had prepared us to help one another out. But we didn't know it until we was willing to unload. And now we both have this desire and this need to want to help other people. So again, sorry for all that long story, but again, these two needs that I'm talking about in this video is the need for growth, spiritual growth, and the need for contribution, the need to give back. Once you have gone through something, there is just something in us that want to help someone else. So I hope you guys have been blessed by these 5 videos. If you have any questions, feel free to inbox me at cblifecoach09@gmail.com or inbox me on my Facebook page, Very Thoughtful Life Coaching. Also, check out my book, Think Your Way to a Better Marriage, because your best marriage is going to start with your thinking. And once again, you learn more about yourself using these 6 basic needs, and your thought life shift, and you see life greater than yourself, than oftentimes our selfish self, because we're looking for happiness and not wholeness, you can have an amazing marriage. And if you're single now and you read the book, your amazing marriage is going to start with your amazing life, like you being amazing to you and for you. And then you now are equipped and prepared to be amazing to someone else. The better you know you, the better spouse you will be. Thanks so much for tuning in to these different videos. Please share them with your friends, with your family. If you know of a married couple who are just kind of in that zombie state. I'm not even talking about unhappily married, but just zombie, thinking this is all there is to life. Tell them about these videos. Tell them about my book. And connect them with me. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.